Hello, good afternoon. Today we are going to study the roller setting and other process parameters that are important. Roller settings, they are influenced by the following factors. The first factor that influences roller setting, or rather it depends on the roller setting depends on this particular factor, and the factor is fiber length. And this fiber length can be measured from the Beer-Sutter diagram as effective length, or there are other methods, textile testing methods, fiber testing methods, like fibrograph and HVI instrument, which measures 2.5% span length for cotton, and this also can be used instead of effective length. Also 5% FS length, that is advanced fiber information system length, is considered for setting for man-made fibers. So in short, fiber length is an influencing factor for deciding the roller setting. Also, the sliver linear density or the bulk of the fiber will decide what kind of roller setting should be good enough. The level of entanglement and parallelization of fibers is also an influencing factor. So let us look at what kind of settings and how much setting should be kept for a breaker draw frame, for a finisher draw frame, and so on. So when you come, let us first see the back zone and the front zone of a breaker draw frame. Setting in the back zone is wider than the setting in the front zone, and we'll see the reason for that. First, we'll see what are the values that we are talking about. For a break draft of 1.7 and a total draft of 5 to 8, what we see is in the back zone, if you take a 2.5% span length, you give an allowance of 10 mm. Whereas in case of a front zone, you will give an allowance of 6 mm. So that means in the back zone, the setting is wider as compared to the setting in the front zone. So now the reasons for that, it is necessary to do this because of the following reasons. As we know, the back zone will always be fed with fibers that are more entangled. Whether it is breaker or finisher, the back zone will come across the fibers which are more entangled than that the front roller will come across. If it's a breaker, you will be feeding the card sliver and it will be highly entangled. So the back zone setting has to be therefore wider as compared to the front one, because entangled fibers causes the fibers to extend more before they start sliding. So it's more difficult to make the fibers slide past each other, and for this particular reason we need to keep a wider back roller setting. The drafting force in the back zone is also higher. You can refer to the drafting force lecture and refer to the slide number 4 of lecture 9 for this. Uh, since the bulk is higher in the case of back zone, because the material is just being fed, and as compared to the front zone, the bulk will be higher, because as soon as the material comes to the front zone, it will be drafted, and the draft in the front zone is higher than that of the back zone. So that is why the bulk also comparatively is higher in the back zone. So because of which the drafting force will increase, and that is why there will be some kind of plucking of the fibers from the back roller nib. So to reduce this kind of a negative effect of the drafting force, the back roller setting needs to be higher. So there are two reasons why the back roller setting is going to be wider than that of the front zone. Now we come to the breaker and finisher draw frame. Now in which case should you keep a higher setting, in which case you should keep a lower setting. So let us first understand how and why it is done. The roller setting in the finisher draw frame stage in both back as well as front zone. Now when you compare finisher draw frame with big breaker, what you see is that both zones of the finisher draw frame will have slightly more setting than that of a breaker draw frame. So the values are something like this. If this is the breaker setting, then for finisher, instead of 10, you will be giving a higher allowance, that is 12 mm in the back zone, and instead of 6, here you will give 8 mm allowance in the front zone. Let us see the reason. Actually, it sounds a bit contradicting, because in the earlier discussion we said more the entanglement, wider should be the setting. But we know that when the material comes to the finisher draw frame, it is less entangled. So we should be able to close the setting, or rather make a narrower setting here. But we see that it is exactly opposite of that. So what is the reason for that? The setting is higher because after breaker draw frame, there's another phenomenon that is happening, and that is straightening out of the fibers. So the apparent length that we have earlier discussed, that apparent length, or rather the hooked fibers are opened out in breaker draw frame, and such fibers will have higher length by the time it comes to the finisher draw frame. So this is one reason why we have to increase the setting in the finisher. The importance of optimum roller setting has been discussed. So this optimum, whatever roller settings we are recommending, or this needs to be kept, has been to a certain extent discussed on slide number 10 in lecture 12. So maybe you can refer to that. So this also to a small extent has been discussed earlier, but this is now we are discussing this in relation with the setting on the draw frame. So when we see this graph here, let us see, this is the irregularity and the optimum setting that you should have. This is the same curve that you normally find, that this is how it will go. First it will be more, then it will reduce, and then as you go the setting increases, the irregularity will again go higher. Now this discussion we have had earlier, um, it will be repeated to a small extent in this slide. And but we are comparing three different cases here, where we are feeding single sliver, then we are feeding two slivers, or when we are feeding six slivers, or we are giving six doublings. So what is the explanation for this? The graph highlights the following things. As discussed earlier, it is seen that the irregularity is higher if the setting is lower. That means if we take any one of these graphs, say this one, then we see that as soon as your setting is lower than the optimum, what happens is the irregularity is increasing, and that is because of spewing, which we have again discussed earlier. So optimum setting is required, and this happens because of the this happens because it is being pulled by the front roller pin. And also if it is set higher, which is this part of the graph, if you increase also the setting, then the irregularity increases, and this happens because of the floating fibers. We have already discussed this in depth in our earlier lectures. But here what we are trying to see is the drafting force increases with the bulk of the material. We know this also. For this you can refer to the drafting force lecture. It is observed that the value of the optimum setting increases in the three cases. You can see here the optimum setting. The graph is not same for all the kind of doublings. It is different for each one. So in all the three cases, what we are seeing is the optimum setting it becomes higher as you go on increasing the number of doublings. That is what we're trying to say. The number of doublings is increased, the optimum setting increases. Therefore, it is necessary. So we cannot say for sure okay, this should be the setting for any kind of a situation. So the moment you increase the number of doublings, you will have to go in for a trial and try to find out the right setting for you, where it will give you the lowest irregularity in your outputs level. So we come to the roller setting, how it is done on a modern draw frame. It is very simple. Earlier we used to use gauges, and it was quite tedious, and the settings could not be replicated. It would not be accurate and precise. But here at the turn of a screw, the settings are easily done. Now this is of a Ritter. Trutzler is also similar, where you can easily change the settings. It's a central setting system. So let us see the video here. Easily turning the screw, and is able to set the distance. There is a scale also over here which tells you how much distance you are maintaining between any pair of rollers. So on a modern draw frame, it is as simple as just what we've just seen. So now coming to the delivery rate, this is another important parameter, and how much it should be for any kind of fiber that we're processing, or on how much we should keep it. So for that, we should know that the delivery rate depends upon the type of fiber, whether we are processing cotton or whether we are processing synthetic. Then it also depends on whether we are processing carded process, or for comb process, the type of sliver that is to be produced, and the condition of the machine. All these three factors will decide what kind of delivery rates you are going to keep. Each machine manufacturer recommends the speeds, and going beyond the speed, it is seen that if you go beyond the recommended speed, then it may lead to roller vibrations, noise, and ultimately sliver irregularity, which we do not want. So factors deciding delivery speed: a reduction in speed is necessary in the following conditions. When we are processing fine fibers, we need to see that the delivery speeds are lower, and this is because there are chances of roller lapping, frequent lapping, more in case of fine fibers. Also, if the fibers have a high crimp in them, then due to the higher drafting forces involved, we should see to it that we reduce the delivery speed so that the irregularities are reduced. Fibers with poor spin finish also. Suppose spin finish, as we have mentioned, I think in one of the lectures earlier, it is a lubricant which helps in case of fibers which do not have a natural wax on its surface. So in such case, such fibers, we need to apply spin finish to reduce the friction. And if it is poorly done, it is not done properly, the spin finishing process, then what happens is you tend to generate a lot of static electricity, and because of this there will be a lot of disturbance in the drafting zone. So to compensate for that, you will have to reduce the delivery speeds accordingly. If the fibers are too long, even in that case, due to the high drafting forces which leads to uncontrolled drafting and roller lapping, we will have to go for a lower speed. So typical delivery rates are given over here. In case of man-made, you see that it is normally 300 to 500. When it comes to cotton, we can go for slightly higher speeds. The reason being that in man-made, there is a problem of this where you poor spin finish and some crimp and so on. And that is why you need to go for lower speeds when compared to cotton. Even in these two cases, when you come to carded and combed, you see that carded, you can increase the speeds a bit, and in case of viscose rayon, you should keep around 400 to 800 meters per minute. What about roller pressure? The roller pressure is normally 60 to 80 kgs applied, and this is applied so that the fibers are held firmly by the roller pairs. The back roller pressure is normally more than the front roller, as the bulk of the material is more in between the back rollers. Man-made fibers are bulkier, smoother and longer, and therefore a high force is required. Such man-made fibers, if they are bulky, will require a higher force to grip them very effectively. So we see that there is an increase of normally 20 to 30% for viscose and 30 to 40% for polyester when you compare it with cotton of similar length and fineness. So how do we calculate pressure? If we know the kind of weight that we are applying, what is the pressure that is applied? So if N is the number of slivers, W is the width in the compressed state, the weight applied is F and the pressure is P, pores per unit width, then this is the formula: P is equal to F upon NW, where if the pressure is less, it leads to roller slippage. We know that there's a problem. And if the pressures are too high also, then also there is a problem that the bottom rollers will tend to bend. So we should go always for an optimum pressure setting also over here, which would normally be between 60 kgs to 80 kgs. So looking at one small problem over here to solve this, to understand this particular formula. The value of P for F, which is 80 kgs, and W, which is 2.5, and N is equal to 6 would be, when you substitute them, you get a value of 52.32 newtons per centimeter. Pressure is always measured in newtons, so newtons per centimeter. This is the kind of pressure you're looking at. Tension draft, this is another important factor. The value of tension draft is greater than 1, is just greater, slightly greater than 1, and it is applied so that the material does not sag during processing at certain areas, at certain places. So its value depends upon the elasticity of the sliver, which is affected by nature of the fiber, its crimp and its degree of entanglement within the sliver. So fiber characteristics will to a large extent decide the elasticity of the fiber, and this in turn will decide the tension draft that you can apply. In draw frames, the tension draft is applied at two places: between front roller and coiler calendar roller, known as the web tension draft, and between sliver guiding roller and the back roller of the drafting system, known as a creel draft. So there are two drafts, the tension drafts rather, which you will come across, one in the front of the machine and one behind the machine, one known as a creel and the other one known as a web tension draft. So what happens, why this tension draft, what should be the value? Let us understand that. A drafted web, as soon as it is coming out from the front roller nib, it will try to contract or retract, and the tension in the web starts to increase, leading to an uncontrolled sliding, because the fibers will try to slide against each other as soon as they are freed from the front roller nib. So which might result in a lot of irregularity. So tension draft should be kept less than 1, so that the tensions are reduced. In case where have a feeling that there are chances of fiber retraction, and this normally retraction is effect is more when the fibers are more entangled. So in that case, you will keep a tension draft of less than 1. At the finisher draw frame, the fibers are oriented and less entangled with less chances of retraction. Therefore, the tension drafts at the finisher draw frame can be kept more, and it can be more than 1. So the typical values that you see over here are creel draft. For cotton, it would be 1.01, as I said, just more than 1 to 1.02. And for man-made also, the values are almost the same. When it comes to web tension draft, that is in the front of the draw frame, according to the discussion that we just had, what you can see on a breaker draw frame, since the entanglements are more, you have chances of retraction of fiber in this case, in the breaker draw frame, for both cotton as well as man-made. You can see the values are just less than little bit, so that to compensate for the tension that might build up due to retraction. So it is 0.96 to 0.97. And in the case of finisher, you can slightly go higher, which is because the fibers have got much more oriented when compared to the breaker draw frame, and you can go for a higher tension draft, which is slightly more than 1, that is 1 to 1.02 in both the cases of cotton as well as man-made. So we come to the end of this lecture today. Thank you very much.